Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia. Today we are doing 5 DIYs using reusable tote bags from the Dollar Tree. Before we get started, I wanted to show you the bags that I'm using, and basically this one was what inspired me. It was so adorable with the little bees and this elegant pink. So we're going to be using this one, and the second bag or tote we're going to be using is this one. This one's going to be a little bit more challenging. Any print that is very contrasting like this black and white, and it's so busy with all these triangles, whatever you're decorating with, you need to tame this down in order to have an overall beautiful clean look. Let's get started. To get started on this project, I'm going to grab these wooden letters from the Dollar Tree, and I'm grabbing letters to spell out honey, and I'm going to give them one coat of black chalk paint. Now I'm grabbing this jar sign that I got during fall at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to trace it on my tote. Before I moved on, I did remove the jute cord. I also carefully removed that burlap part, and when you do that, make sure you take a few layers of that paper with it. That way it comes off really nice and smooth like it did for me. Now I'm grabbing my jar and some white chalk paint, and I'm just going to go around the border and make sure that it's covered in that white paint all the way around, so we have a nice clean look at the end. After cutting out the trace that I made with my jar, I'm just placing it over the jar sign, and after I have it centered how I want it, I'm just holding it in place, and I'm starting to hot glue it a section at a time, starting from the top just a little bit there, and then just keep on adding hot glue until I was all done. Next, I'm just trimming the jar up. I purposely cut it out a little bit bigger than I had to just to make sure. And then I'm grabbing that piece that we removed from the top, and where the holes are, I'm just kind of bringing the burlap together in that place to cover the holes, and it kind of actually worked. And now I'm just hot gluing it back in place on the side that I'm working on. Here I'm just grabbing my white chalk paint, and I'm going to dry brush it. Dip my paintbrush in the paint super lightly. Then on my napkin, I just want the jar to have like a glass look, and I'm just going to go with the white around the edges. And then on the burlap part, I really am going to go wild on there because I want that to kind of lighten up, and that's what's going to give it that really elegant look. Next, I'm just centering my letters, and I'm just using the right angle to make sure my first and last letter are in the same line. And then I'm just hot gluing the letters in place. Next, I'm grabbing these Dollar Tree little tiny roses, and I'm going to just take one rose and one piece of the greenery. I'm going to remove the plastic from the greenery and then cut this one down. And then I'm going to hot glue the greenery and the rose to the corner of the jar. This video is part of the DIY scavenger hunt giveaway for May 2021, and the lucky winner will get a Cricut Joy. Here's how to qualify. Watch all 8 videos from the playlist and comment on each. Each creator will reveal a secret word somewhere inside their video. Collect and email all 8 secret words to DIYscavengerhunt@gmail.com. Please make sure not to reveal the secret words in the comments below. We will randomly draw the winner from those who qualify on Saturday, May 15th, 2021. Winner will be announced on our community tabs and Instagram. This giveaway is open to the continental US only. Good luck, everyone! For this project, I'm starting with this round sign I just found at the Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to trace it on the bag and cut it out. Using a heat gun, I then remove the tag, and then slowly from top to bottom, I'm hot gluing my tote canvas to the round sign. Next, I'm just trimming the sign off and grabbing my wisteria flowers. I'm just going to take the branches and I am going to cut the bottom and the top end because it just has a lot of plastic. We just want the florals. And I'm just grabbing the flowers and I'm hot gluing them to the edges of our decor. Since I was going for an elegant look with this project, I grabbed this burlap ribbon with lace on it from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just making a simple bow and bringing it together with some jute cord. Now I'm just cutting the second tail off and then just making dovetails. Here I'm just ripping one of the flowers off. I mean, there's plenty, and I'm going to cover it with a bow and then hot gluing the bow in the center right there, and then taking that flower that I took off and putting it in the center of the bow. And then to complete the look, I grabbed a pink little button and I put it inside that flower. And that's it. Our elegant decor with bees is all done. To hang my decor, I just grabbed a piece of jute cord and I'm just hot gluing it to the back. For this project, I will be using this 3¼ inch square frame from the Dollar Tree, and this is the vintage looking one, and it's very gold. And what we're going to do is we're going to dry brush it with some chalk paint, and we're going to give it a beautiful romantic effect. Now with the leftover tote, I'm just looking for a bead that I really liked, and I'm just going to cut it out, and I made sure to cut off enough that I can fold it in half just so it's a little stronger. Next, I'm just cleaning the glass, putting it back in the frame, and then putting the frame all together. I decided to embellish this cute little picture frame with a little bow, and I thought this polka dot ribbon would be perfect for this little bow. And because it is a small bow, I just used a needle and thread in the center of the bow and just wrapped it around to make it a nice, sweet little bow, tied it off in the back, and then cut the tails on an angle. To prevent the tails from fraying, I'm just going to cinch them a little bit with a little tea light. Now I'm just hot gluing the bow to the upper right side of the frame. For the center of the bow, I'm just grabbing a white pearl bead and hot gluing it to the upper right corner of the frame. For this project, I'm going to be using this shadow box decor from the Dollar Tree, and the first thing I'm going to do is paint all the edges. I'm using the linen white chalk Rust-Oleum paint, and I'm going to give it 2 coats on both the inside and the outside edges of the frame. I made sure to cut out an oversized piece so that I can even it out by using my paper cutter, and that is how I did all my edges. And as you can see, my piece fit perfectly inside my little square frame. Next, I'm hot gluing my design to the bottom of the shadow box. And I'm really hot gluing it a lot because my centerpiece is going to go on there. So don't be shy with the hot glue here because you want to make sure that the canvas holds really, really well to your shadow box. For the centerpiece here, I'm going to be using this metal flower from the Dollar Tree. And the first thing I did was remove it from that welcome sign that it came with. Then I grabbed my white chalk paint and going from the inside out, I just brushed the petals really lightly. The center of the flower I did paint white, and that's because we're going to decorate it with some foam vase fillers from the Dollar Tree. Next, I hot glued my flower to the center of my project, and I just did the center and all the petals. The secret word you might be looking for is sunglasses. I absolutely love sunglasses in the summer. I started with the biggest white foam ball and then just cut it in half, hot glued it to the center of the flower, and then grabbed tiny little foam balls and then hot glued them around the big foam one. And I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. To cover the holes that are on the petals, I'm just using some hot glue and then covering it with matching paint, and nobody could ever tell that there was a little hole there. I felt like the edges needed a little bit of contrast with everything that was going on, and I decided to paint just the front of the sides in a black chalk paint, and I think it turned out absolutely stunning. I think this project turned out so modern and at the same time elegant. I absolutely love it. For this one, I'm going to be using this wooden kind of like a pencil holder or a vase, whatever you want to call it. We are going to make it into a vase. And so I grabbed a nice chunk of the tote, and I'm just going to hot glue and wrap it around my wooden vase. But before I started hot gluing anything, I needed to make sure that my little piece was nice and straight. So I am using my paper cutter again, just to make sure that the bottom of the vase is going to be nice and even. Now I'm just hot gluing it to seal it in. And then I'm going to cut down on top about an inch from the actual vase. And then I'm going to make little slits along the way, and then I'm just hot gluing each one of the tabs to the inside of the vase. Now I'm going to take the handle from the tote and use it as a ribbon. I decided to hot glue it right across the center of my vase. Next, I'm grabbing this beautiful lace pink one and putting it across the center of the black one. And then I'm grabbing another black one that's a little bit thin, and I got this one at Michael's a long time ago for 99 cents. And then I'm putting that across the center of my lace one. And here's the final look of the vase. What do you think? It's black, white, and a little bit of pink in there. Now I'm just grabbing some floral foam, putting it inside the vase, and then I'm grabbing these gorgeous pink hydrangeas, cutting them down to about 3-inch stems, and just putting them in the vase. I think it turned out really cute. What do you guys think? And which project was your favorite? Please let me know in the description box below.